Hello everybody, it's Arden here once more again, and today we're actually going to be doing a little bit of overview of my Warhammer 40k Space Marine strike teams that I finally got around to building. As you can see them a little bit in the background here, I finally actually got around to doing them. As you remember, I ended up doing the reviews for both the Labyrinth of the Necron and the Tyranids Attack Space Marine Adventures board games. And with those board games came around with Space Marines that you can build. And I finally got around to building them, so without further ado, let's get right down to seeing all my miniature Space Marines that I've built. And we are back, and right now showing off my first strike team here. This actually is from the Space Marine Adventures. This is the Labyrinth of the Necron strike team that we got. Starting out with the Space Marines that we got. We have the Space Marines themselves. We have Sergeant Cassius, who is of the Ultramarines, carrying his Roaring Chainsword. Then we have Brother Infernius from the Salamanders, wielding his Flamer. Then we have Brother Frostclaw from the Space Wolves, who was, wielding his, I forget what's just regular dagger or just light blade. I forget what it's called. Then we have Brother Gravier from the Noble Blood Angels, carrying his scanner and his bolter. And last but not least, Brother Grim from the Imperial Fist, wielding his very powerful heavy bolter. Overall, I'm actually really liking these. Like, legit, not gonna lie, I tend to build mostly Gumbo most of the time, but actually building the miniatures is actually pretty fun. I actually really did enjoy building everybody here. That was actually a very fun experience. I will get around to eventually painting everybody. I will get around to painting all of them eventually, but what's it called? Let me move everybody off, so what's it called? We don't have to deal with the... There we go, so you can get a little bit much more focus of the Marine right here. Overall, I really do like the detail and stuff for everybody else. Also, when I get around to eventually painting these, it's going to be very fun. The only thing I am probably going to be needing for painting everybody is going to be what's it called? It's basically just, I need new brushes, and basically I'm going to need new paint for painting everybody else. But once I eventually get all the rest of my supplies, everything should be great. Which is what we need. Sorry about that. Overall, I actually do like the details from everybody. It's like pretty great. So you can see all the detail that all comes in. It's all pretty good. I actually like the way all the face plates for the base right here for the way where they're battling it, or the battling at. Overall, the detail for everybody's pretty great. It'll be more great once I get around to eventually painting them, which we'll get around to eventually doing this. I do like each of the different helmets for each of the Space Marines. As I remember somebody telling me a while back, is basically each of these helmets are basically between the earliest eras to the current era, which is actually, I do like all the designs of each and every one of them, especially with each chapter having their own variations. Let's get the camera beam focus. There we go. Overall, I really am liking the detail for all this. I cannot wait until I start painting them. If anything else, what I might do first before anything else, I might just grab a base coat and just base coat all of them, just for like temporary bases. And then once I eventually get the actual color I'm going to be painting all these, I already have the base coat, so I don't have to worry about any other stuff. Especially if I'm doing any metallic coloring, the base coat color, whichever metallic color I'm going to be using, will bring the color out a little bit much more better. Now going from my strike team that I have right here, we will go with the next strike team that I built, which was from the Attack of the Tyranids. So without further ado, let's go with that strike team next. Oops, sorry about that. Let's do a little bit more of a spin before I go to the next strike team, so we can see them all in their nice battle Space Marine glory. And we're back now to start off with the next set of Space Marines from the Space Marine Adventure set. This one's from the Tyranids Attack ones that I did a review, I think, a couple months back. Starting off with the Space Marines themselves, which we'll actually get around once we get to after the Iron Hands. It's this one right here. This is Sergeant Maximus of the Ultramarines, attack leader with his bolter. Then we have Brother Atrix from the Salamanders with his bolter, rifle. Then we have Brother Raphael from the Noble Blood Angels, wielding his chainsword and bolter. Then we have Brother Lucas from the Space Wolves, carrying a bolter and a grenade. And then last but not least, we have Brother Warren from the Iron Hands, wielding his powerful heavy bolter. Overall, like with the first strike team that we built, I'm really liking the detail. You can see right there, the detail for these guys are actually pretty nice. And this is just without any coloring or any base coats and whatnot. But once I get the rest of the paints that I need and new brushes, I will be making sure that these guys are hopefully detailed well and hopefully to the best of my ability. I mean, I've been painting for years and been painting model kits and whatnot, so I have at least good faith in my painting ability. So whenever I get around to eventually painting these guys, I do them well. But yeah, that is it for this last one. Oh, actually, we do have one more. And then last but not least, this is actually a random Warhammer minifigure that I got actually at Target, because Target was actually selling these by random, and I was like, I'm gonna pick this one. This is actually the box right here. This is actually from the Warhammer Heroes Age of Sigmar right here. What's called, and basically Target was actually had these. I don't know if they have them right now or whatnot, but they had these, and I was able to only pick one for the meantime, because I was already over budget. But it's right here. This guy right here is called Golden the Relentless right here. I'm not a little bit too knowledgeable about Age of Sigmar or the rest of the Warhammer series, but I do know right here, at least when it comes to at least the little lore for him right here. So you can see right here, like you guys can read this if you pause it right here. Golden the Relentless, an expert in line break doctrine. Golden is an unrelenting not only in his bull-like assault, but also as his hangering of any who fall beneath his high standards. As an annihilator prime, his raw strength can shatter even the stoutiest shield walls. So basically, he's what do they call this? Like a tank, something. I have no clue. I'm not too familiar when it comes to the whole Warhammer Heroes Age of Sigmar. I do want to get a little bit into it as well, because I'm also getting into the regular Warhammer stuff. But I really do like this. If I'm going to be honest, with Golden, I think he's actually a little bit bigger than the regular Space Marines, at least when it comes to the size. I can see the little bit comparison between here. That was called, he's way more massive than regular Space Marine. I think it's also, I think, depends on your Space Marines as well. But I think comparatively to the 40k ones, I think showing right here, the Age of Sigmar is just slightly a little bit bigger than my regular Space Marines. But overall, I actually do kind of like it. And since he's basically all gold and whatnot, I'm going to have to figure out how to do the painting for this one, since gold's a little bit more trickier when it comes to painting. Well, at least for me. I mean, I'll figure it out one way or another. But yeah, and I think with that out of the way, I think this is going to be the end for this video. Overall, I actually really am happy with building these guys. It's actually a really nice experience building something else that's not model kits. Granted, this is actually my first time going to miniature building, which is first time around. I will say building little small pieces not too little bit difficult, because I have built a little bit of the Gundam artifact figures. Those are a little more tiny ones, the standstill figures. I have built those, so I have to do a little bit of experience when it comes to miniatures. But this is actually first time going dive deep into basically other miniature figure series that I'm a little bit too knowledgeable about. But I'm actually really happy I actually build these guys. I actually do like this. Hopefully in the future I'll probably be able to get a little bit more and start building my armies. Like I already mentioned before, the army that I'm going to be setting off to be doing is going to be the Salamanders. So probably going to be building an army of that, and then afterwards we'll see if I build any other different armies. But first things first, we're going to finish these guys, got to paint these guys. I got to get the brushes, I got to get the paints before I buy any more other Warhammer minis. But with that away, folks, that is it for this video. If you did like it and enjoy it, please consider dropping like, share, and subscribe, as I always do appreciate it, folks. As I do make this kind of content every week or so when I'm able to. And as always, have a nice day, guys. As I Pardon, saying out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.